Gathering Place is a new church plant launched 5 years ago in Moody High School. We felt that the community in which we're located had a large population of unchurched and dechurched, and we wanted to do whatever we could to reach those individuals.
180 Church was originally launched off out of Clear Branch United Methodist Church, creating a place, a space that people would come that ordinarily wouldn't come to a church with a steeple.
Mount Olive United Methodist Church was a church that had a troubled future ahead of it. And so we've come in and brought in new ideas, a new vision, and new ways to reach the community around us in hopes that we could resurrect the church here and continue to have a Methodist presence in the north central part of Jefferson County.
The Belief Experiment meets in an upstairs bar of a local restaurant in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're trying to reach the university community more than anything else, and that includes students and faculty and just people throughout the city.
New Beginnings Church is the result of a merger between the former Douglasville, Mount Pleasant, and Rice Chapel United Methodist Churches. Three struggling churches in the northern side of Birmingham, and they came together and started talking about their ministry future.
Here at Trinity West Homewood, we brought these two churches together. We merged them into one church, 2 campuses, and that has really made a difference in the ministry that God is doing here in West Homewood. As a result, we have people who are coming in to this place who have driven past this church their entire lives in this community, and now are stopping in to see some of the new things we're doing.
Our strategy in the beginning was to eliminate whatever barriers might be present that would keep people that were out of church from coming to church. So in order to do that, we found non-threatening environments like high schools, warehouses, whatever we could find that would not remind people of a previous bad church experience or preconceived notions of what church is. Those were the environments that we found.
It's exciting that the conference is supporting new church starts because we're reaching different communities, whether it's a house church, whether it's a rural church, whether it's an urban church, whether it's a church by a swimming pool or in a coffee shop, or even a church in a bar.
People come to the Belief Experiment, I think, because of our focus on 3 things: faith, reason, and action. A lot of people feel like they almost have to check their brain at the door when they come to church, and what we try to do is engage deep questions at the kind of guttural level where people are facing real life situations with really big questions for God and of the church.
The vast majority of the people here work in blue-collar skilled trades or maybe in the industries in Decatur. A lot of these men and women work swing shifts. Their lives revolve around their kids, around their homes, and around the stability of the industry that exists on the Tennessee River. With that being the case, having an ethic for hard work, wanting community, wanting hope, and wanting rest, those are themes in their life that are very, very important for them. And we've used that, those things as we find it in the gospel, to connect that to their life.
The reality of the 3 churches where they were like in a survival mode. They were just existing, not being engaged in meaningful ministry. And part of the conversation was, what is our future? What do we see happening? And together we can reach more people in the community, make a difference, more ministry, more resources together. And so instead of just surviving, now we have a future.
God very quickly began to gather a very diverse group of people. We had people coming that had never been to church. We had people beginning to attend that had been out of church for a long time. And we had people from various different types of church affiliations and denominations beginning to come back to church.
In our first couple years of existence, we've doubled the size of the church. We have seen about 30 people baptized at this point. Over 50 new members have joined. So we've seen a lot of growth.
We're very involved in the Moulton Middle School and the East Lawrence Middle School with First Priority. We minister to about 75 kids at East Lawrence and about 150 kids at Moulton. During this year, we've had 11 people come to faith in Jesus Christ, and we've had 9 baptisms affirming their faith.
Now we're starting to see adults and families come to Christ. We've baptized people this year. We're reaching people that no one else was reaching. In fact, people that had given up on the church entirely, and they're coming to Christ.
We've only really been open for about 2 months, but at this point, we've been fortunate enough that we have some baptisms and some people joining the church. For example, on this wall behind me, we have some candles, and each of those candles represents someone that's been baptized.
So Grace Point is the story of what happens when the conference reaches out in order to save a church. We could not have done it without the conference's support. They came in with a 3-year agreement, enabled us to grow by taking care of the pastor's salary, which enabled us to free up money to be able to do the outreach and draw the people into the church that we needed to draw.
Early on, we received from the conference much needed support, equipping, and training. Now, as we have grown and matured, we're able to contribute to helping equip and train other new churches.
We receive financial help through me as a full-time licensed local pastor. The money comes from the New Church Foundation, and also we've been given a grant to help compensate a youth and worship pastor. This has really been helpful for us because we have grown exponentially through reaching young people, and as we reach young people and love them, it's amazing how we connect to their parents.
I credit a lot of our success to the conference. We would not have been able to do this without the help of the North Alabama Conference. And so, they're a good second to God in the whole thing, I would say.
There's been about $50,000 of investment to make sure that this place becomes what God wants it to be. Personally, I've had the pleasure of being on some operational teams that have really connected me with some books that have literally changed my life. And it may be cliche, but I know that the bishop and our cabinet and the people who make up this annual conference are praying for me, and that's important for my ability to do what I need to do as a minister.
The Central District, the district superintendent, has been also very supportive in the regards of the merger, the conversations when we started coming together, also resources, providing training opportunities, and when I say resources, not only people, but also finances, as well as new church development has done the same. And so without their support was critical in New Beginnings reaching the place where we are today.
We are so blessed to be a part of a conference whose leadership is extremely focused on reaching new people, new demographics, with new worship services, new congregations, and new church plants. We're also extremely blessed to partner with a conference that's so generous. If it were not for your generosity and your support, places like the Gathering Place would not exist.
We are forever indebted to the conference and to each of the churches that give apportionments. And I just want to personally thank you. I know that this doesn't happen without you.
I came to the North Alabama Conference from the Memphis Conference. And one of the reasons why I was drawn here is because the North Alabama Conference had an energy about it. And what I've found since being here is that they're not just a bunch of talk. They are dedicated to this. They are investing in the future.
Every church began as a church plant, and these planters and the budding congregations need your support. Find ways to help them, reach out to them. Your partnership is incredibly valuable to the success of these plants.
But I'd like to challenge our conference. I'd like to challenge Christians, and specifically Methodists, that in all of our method, that we won't forget some of the mystery, some of the beautifulness of a little bit of chaos, and that to remember that Jesus Christ calls us into the world, and to do that we need to meet the world.
We're so excited about the future of not only the North Alabama Conference, but new congregations within the North Alabama Conference. We feel that God has placed opportunities before us, and the people of God are capitalizing on those opportunities. I can't wait to see what God is going to do in 2016 and the years to come in the North Alabama Conference.